Hey, good morning and welcome to the fourth hour. It's nice to have you along. There are a few things, it's kind of some of this in a little bit of lighter vein, but there's a little bit of video that I wanted to share with you. This story was trending earlier this morning. It was a meeting in the House of Representatives, and there was a heated exchange. The congressperson here is transgender. And so this is Sarah McBride. And this happened yesterday. What committee was this? It's a House subcommittee hearing on Tuesday. And you'll hear the chairman of the committee, Keith Self, referring to her as Mr. McBride, and this is how that exchange went down.
I recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking
Did you catch that? Thank you, Madam Chair. And it goes on.
Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
Oh! Okay, spare me the outrage. From the United States of America. and it continued.
Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order.
Who's out of
Chairman,
order?
have you no decency? I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue.
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
There you go. Adjourn the hearing. Wow. So again, Sarah McBride is transgender and the first transgender congressperson that America's seen, and that happened earlier this week. So, and I'm going to leave that there. I understand. I'm just going to leave that there. Also, this is the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, changing his position on talking about tariff policies and saying it's worth it even if a recession comes. This was an interview he did with CBS News earlier this week. And you hear the question, and then you'll hear Lutnick.
Will these policies be worth it if they lead to a recession, even a short-term recession?
These policies are the most important thing America has ever had.
So it is worth it.
It is worth it. I don't think the only reason there could possibly be a recession is because of the Biden nonsense that we had to live with.
President Donald Trump.
Oh, there you go. He's saying he believes it will be worth it because there is, the president had said a few days ago that there may be a recession. He was asked about this. Possibly there could be a recession. Lutnick had been asked about it, and he said, no, they're not going to be a recession. So now, based on what the president said, Lutnick is being asked again, might there be a recession? And he's saying, yes, there might be. And will it be worth it? Yes. He's saying absolutely it will be worth it. So that's pretty crazy. As we're talking about President Trump, he's threatening more tariffs. It's becoming a daily occurrence now. The president threatening a 200% tariff. I'm going to have audio start here, so hold on. The president threatening a 200% tariff on French wine and other alcohol products from the EU. A 200% tariff. This is new. From France and other European countries. So he said on Truth Social, if this tariff is not removed immediately, the U.S. will shortly place a 200% tariff on all wines, champagnes, and alcoholic products coming out of France and other EU represented countries. This will be great, he said. Forgive me, that jump. Let's take a look at his actual comment. This will be great for the wine and champagne businesses in the U.S. 200% tariff. And this is the same thing we've seen back and forth, and the other countries are responding. And, France remains determined to respond with the European Commission, and which is fine. I think what the president is trying to do, first of all, send a message not only to these other countries. I think he's trying to send a message to Americans. In like, fine. Hey, this is going to create more opportunities then for those wine businesses in the United States. But that was a new story that is picking up some steam this morning. There are a few other stories I wanted to share. This one from the Washington Times regarding the Snow White that is coming, the remake of Snow White coming from Disney. Okay, this thing is just full of problems. I mean, Disney, I think, has just been riddled with problems, and this is a great example. So Disney now is deciding to scale back on pre-party and screening. Coming up this weekend, it's being there is a live action. There's been a lot of criticism of the cast of the film. And so the star of this is 23 years old. She's cast as the first Latina Snow White. And she has said previously, this is a couple of years ago, she said Snow White's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. And so this thing is full of problems. So Walt Disney now opting for a subdued Hollywood premiere. So in other words, they're trying to, let's hush it down. Let's hush it down. Let's keep it. It's trying to maintain a low profile on this. Thing has been an absolute train wreck. It's not something I would want to watch with my kids, at this point, my kids are grown. My grandkids, really not something that interests me very much. We've got a, yeah. Folks who are just changing, Snow White is a classic, and it's just really kind of unfortunate as you see these things happen, but this will be another no. And this is, again, you look at the stuff that Disney has been making. I have just sat back and it's like, what is going on? What is the matter? I mean, seriously, what is the matter? They just do they not understand the Disney brand? Do they not understand the Disney consumer? I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. So I look forward to, like a lot of other material we see coming out of Hollywood, this thing just being a total bomb. And then you get people doubling and tripling down on, again, the star of this, 23 years old. I don't want to denigrate people who are only 23, because we've got some people in their 20s, I think, who are quite sharp. For instance, now she's 27, she's a bit older, but the president's press secretary, be a great example. She's in her 20s. I'm not looking for that kind of leadership from the star of Snow White, based on comments that she has made. And so she's apparently furious with some of these things. And I saw a number of other headlines regarding this. She's furious because Disney is now trying to subdue that, pull in the reins and quiet things down. And she doesn't want to have any part of that, it seems like. At least to me, that's how it seems. And again, I just go, when is Disney going to start making material that a good number of Americans want to see. You know, I don't know that in today's day and age, is it possible? I mean, what do you think? I'd love to believe that. Again, I try to be optimistic. You know, you want to look at the glasses half full rather than half empty. So you want to be optimistic, but man, there are so many people who just make that incredibly difficult, don't they? And this is a great example. Now, Leah's making a good point. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, except, you know, expecting different results. And that's what these folks are doing, which is a great point. Let Snow White be Snow White, and she can play another character, Snow White's evil twin. Edgy is saying the concept of the character played by Gal Gadot being jealous of the beauty of the character played by Rachel Zegler is beyond believable. Thanks, Edgy. Steve, I was always led to believe the evil queen was jealous of Snow White's beauty. In this instant, and Steve's saying the same thing. You guys are on the same page. Absolutely right. Yeah, because Gal Gadot, she is beautiful, and I think she'll be great as the stepmother, which is perfect for her. It'll be interesting to see how she does it. As we were talking about Amazon, Steve is saying Amazon may not completely ruin James Bond. I'll give it a chance. I will give the new James Bond, and we'll see where they go. I hope they do choose somebody British. That would be smart rather than American. And, you know, is either putting on an accent, but let go ahead and choose somebody British. I think that would be wise. I will give it a shot, but you know how many times I've been disappointed? I mean, seriously, Amazon, it's like, you know, I tried a number of Amazon shows, and that Obi-Wan Kenobi that they did, I sat down, there were 6 episodes of that Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I watched 6 episodes, and when I was done, I'm like, who do I sue to get my time back? You know, it's like, that was a complete... There were maybe a few moments that you love seeing this or that, maybe, and I'm being generous. But overall, it's like, what was that? I mean, so a lot of these, and what was the Lord of the Amazon had that fiasco on their hands? What, they're making another season of that the you know. Of the Lord of the Rings, and it's like, wow. I would recommend that only as to people saying, watch this for what it is and laugh. I mean, if you want to laugh at it, because if you're watching it, because initially, you know, you watch some of these things and you wind up just getting a little bit frustrated. Gets to be, it's like, what is this crap? I mean, Katie enjoyed watching it to mock it. So I said, okay, under that, you know, if that's our criteria, we're saying, okay, we're going to watch this and then we're going to mock it. Okay, I will do that. But some of this stuff is just crazy. I'm hoping, I have been a longtime James Bond fan. I mean, since I was a kid, you're watching James Bond. You know, I came to watch it generally on ABC television that was rerunning the, you know, the James Bond films. And I just loved it. I mean, if James Bond was on, boom. Man, that's where my attention was. I've been a James Bond fan since I was a young kid. And I was thrilled finally then to see James Bond on the big screen, actually go to a movie theater and see a James Bond movie. I had never done that until a few years ago. I went in and for the first time, I want to see a James Bond movie. Boom. And Daniel Craig, I thought was great. He was a great Bond. So now his time as Bond has come to an end. Who's going to be next? Might be worth watching. I will give it a chance. I don't know, but we'll see. Again, I don't want. I just sound like I don't like anything, and I do. I love actually quite a wide variety of things. But I dislike sounding like, man, I'm just crotchety, I'm cranky, I don't like this. You know what I mean? I'm trying so hard not to let that happen to myself. Have you watched that, Edgy? He's saying if you want to feel real despair after watching a Star Wars show, may I recommend The Acolyte? Yeah, agreed. And then Steve here shares my Apple Gutted Foundation. Yeah, I actually subscribe to Apple TV to watch Foundation. I am a huge fan of Isaac Asimov's original Foundation books. In fact, I have how many audiobooks? Let me check my phone. I listen to Audible when I do my walking every day. So I listen to Audible, and I have a number of Second Foundation and Empire, the original Foundation. I just recently downloaded Prelude to Foundation, as well as a couple of other. So I love Isaac Asimov's writings. You watch that Apple Foundation, I'm like, what in the world is this? I mean, it barely even resembles what Isaac Asimov wrote. And Harry Seldon and what he, I mean, wow. So it's not Harry Seldon's story. It winds up being story of others. And I'm like, yeah, this is, you watch a few shows, and I gave it a number of episodes. So I went through episode, okay, another one. How many episodes will you endure in order to determine that something is good or not? Or do you want to invest any more time? How many episodes of a show will you, and this is an honest question. I'm asking you, how many episodes will you watch before you say, enough, I'm done? And I mean, I don't know how many episodes I watched of Foundation. 4 or 5 in that vicinity. And I'm like, no, I'm not wasting any more of my time. I'd rather go back and I love Audible. Listening to books. I go walk. I'm listening to books as I walk. Keeps my mind off of, my walking. I'm focusing on the book. Really enjoy that. It's a real period of escape for me when I'm doing my walking. Just really, really enjoy that time. I do. And sometimes when I just recently completed Frankenstein. I had never read the book of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I'd never read it before. Fascinating book. Totally different from, the Boris Karloff movies that I love. Absolutely love them. But it's totally, totally different. It's unlike any. Wow. What a great, compelling story. Dracula. I just listened to that. Bram Stoker's Dracula. And the way they're producing those and again, I'm going to call it by the wrong name, Audible. The way that Audible is producing these, they get a cast of people literally. So you get depending 6 or 7 voices that are, voicing these novels, and just great actors, folks, in a number of cases, it's like, oh, yeah, I've seen their work. I know of them. And really great and really engaging. I just absolutely love that. But that Foundation series versus the books, because I know the books. I know the books pretty well. I've listened to them a number of times, and I've read them a number of times. So I've been through them at length. They're absolute favorites of mine. And that's what Apple produced. Garbage. It bears resemblance to Foundation, really in name only. So, yeah, Chet's talking about the way they wrecked Star Wars. And Chet, I agree with you here. Fallout, the Fallout TV show. I'm a big Fallout fan. I play Fallout 4 pretty regularly. I cannot let go of that game. I just love that game. And I'll tell you why I do. I just escape. In the time that I'm playing. I relax is what I do. It's just really relaxing for me. I enjoy it. A lot of different elements to it. The Fallout TV show, I will agree with you, Chet. I thought it was pretty good. I look forward to seeing that continue and where they go with it. They haven't wrecked that show like they've wrecked some of the other programs, which is why when I heard that Amazon was taking over James Bond, it's like, well, I'm going to give him a chance. I will give it a chance. And Chet, as you mentioned, Fallout, great example. I like the Fallout series. The first season I thought was pretty good, and they did one of the reasons that I think it was so good was they worked very closely with Bethesda that did the Fallout 4 game. They own the Fallout franchise. And so Bethesda working with Amazon in creating the locations and when you saw some of these, for instance, the Super Duper Mart, when you see the Super Duper Mart in real life, that's exactly how it looks in the game. I mean, they captured that. Did they change some things? Yeah, they did. I mean, the Pip Boys, for instance, are different. Small things. I can live with that kind of stuff. But the heart of the game is there in that Fallout series. So I look forward to that. So I look forward to some of these things, and am willing to give them a try, give it a shot. Katie and I subscribe to Amazon. So, there's stuff there. I'm willing to give it a shot, see whether it's good or not. And I'm also looking forward to the next Fallout. Okay, trying to look at some of your comments. Yeah, Steve here is talking about the Foundation series. They used the names, got them wrong too. Silver Hardin was not a black woman ranger. No, she was not. It was a he. It was a he. But then I also see some of that I'm a little bit forgiving because I understand the time of the book was written, right? So I understand Isaac Asimov wrote the Foundation series. I mean, you're talking about he began that in the 1950s is when he began writing the Foundation series. Life in America in the 1950s was a lot different than it is now. So I'm willing to, they change a character from male to female. They change a character, and I'll give a great example, the Batman, where they changed Commissioner Gordon from white to black. I had absolutely no problem with that. Absolutely no problem because, okay, now he's black. However, he's true to the character of Jim Gordon, right? Problem is with Silver Hardin, what they were coming up with, again, there's no other word but crap. I mean, it's just not good. This isn't stuff that I really, that I really enjoy. So I totally understand where you're coming from. I got people bleeding off here. Oh, oh no. They haven't made it to the end of the broadcast, but you have. So you are among my gallery of champions. I appreciate it very much. You made it to the end of the video. If you would hit that like button, very much appreciate it. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. I keep thinking today is Friday. I have to remind myself, no, it's Thursday. So I will see you again tomorrow. Take care until then. See you soon.